Palestinian voice is not worthy, no matter the fact that there have now been at least 20,000 children blown to pieces, not to mention thousands and thousands of more beneath the rubble, not to mention all of the men, women and children who right now are losing again and again their houses in Rafah as Israel is bulldozing the houses. And you look at the BBC headline and you see Israel currently bulldozing houses in Rafah. What does that mean? I was in Gaza for 2 years. I know what it means. All those houses were people's hundreds and hundreds of years of history of life, growing up their children, bringing up their families, me being welcomed in to have tea in their front room, playing with the kids outside in their yard. That is every single house in Rafah that is being bulldozed. That was every single house of the 80-90% that has been blown to pieces in Gaza. A population of mostly children, one of the most crowded places on the planet. When I was there, the siege of Gaza should have been the story. It was a 17-year siege. What did I see in Gaza? F-16s in the sky, drones dropping bombs regularly, hovering above everybody. All of the gunships and the gunboats that are chasing after the fishermen when you look out to sea. That was the life of a kid when you look out to sea. We look out to sea, our kids look out to sea and have dreams and have ideas and think of the world and think of the horizons that can be broken down. But those kids look out to sea in gunships chasing after the fishermen all along the horizon. That was life, the 17 years of siege. It was abominable. I thought that was the worst evil I could have imagined surrounding an entire population. Or for example, the jeeps and the snipers that are shooting at the farmers and the school kids that are going to school all over the border area along the side of Gaza where all the arable land was, the best land was for growing, but obviously they couldn't go there because Israel was shooting at the farmers and destroying with tanks the land underneath. That was their life. Where was that reported? Where was it reported in 2009? When 1,400 people were killed in 22 days, 300 children. Where was the outrage? Where was the global outrage? I taught the kids that survived that. The Zamouni family, and right now, they lost 29 members of their extended family. It was the largest loss since the Nakba. And there were loads of kids left because the parents weren't there. That was 2010 when I got there. 2009 was when the bombing happened. They lost everybody, and they were just kids, and they brought me in, and they welcomed me, and they gave me cups of tea and coffee, and I taught them English twice a week for a year, and then another year after I came back. And the loveliest kids, that's the thing. When they say numbers, I think them. I think Noor, I think Mona, I think all those kids, I think their parents, that's what I think. I think they're welcome to me when I didn't really deserve a welcome. I'm coming from Britain. They know the history. Of course they know the history. It's their entire lives that's been taken away. Where's the history, BBC? When do you talk about the Nakba, BBC? 1948 BBC, when Israel ethnically cleansed Palestine, stole a country. And why is the BBC not talking about this? Why is the Western media not talking about this? Because of Western interest. What does Western interest mean? It means oil. Israel doesn't have oil, but everybody around them is the largest amount of oil in the world. It's the black gold, or as the Arabs would say, the devil's excrement. It is the substance that is driving all the greed in the world. It's the most important substance. It's not just cars and planes, but it's paints and chemicals, everything else. All the big oil companies, look at the biggest profits of the oil companies. So they've been eyeing up this whole region for over 100 years. And they had to have it, they had to be in control of it. So to have an idea in 1948 of Israel to be planted there, a Western aircraft carrier right in the middle of it, a Western outpost right in the middle of the biggest oil producing region, of course this was gold, this was a dream for the West. And the media is owned by big business, remember. The BBC's slightly different, but they've got the Conservatives in there, right? Robbie Gibb, the Conservative Party member, and also working a lot with all of the Israeli Zionists. He's right in the middle of all of their media. Newsnight manager he was for a while, all the rest of it. Loads of other guys. That's how the BBC does it. They bring in the governors, they've taken it over, and of course they're pressured by corporate media. Corporate media, they are selling populations and viewers to advertisers. They get their money from advertising. Where is mostly advertising? It's about cars, it's about planes, it's about oil, it's about paints, it's about consumer stuff. So why, of course, does Western media support Israel? Because it's the driver for all the biggest greedy capitalists in the world, and that is what oil is. That's why Palestine is on the front lines of both big business, corporatism, militarism and imperialism. It's It's right there, it's the fault line. And why should Gazans have to be the ones to front it up? Why should they bear it up? Why all those people that I met there, a population of mostly kids, the sweetest people I could imagine? Why them do they have to expose the Western total, utter lie that we have a liberal democracy, lie that we have an open media, lie that we are caring about human rights, lie that it is all about democracy? It is nothing to do with it. It is a revolving door through the BBC, through the media, through Sky, through CNN, of Conservative MPs, of corporate people, of all the people that are after one thing, and that is control, power. Where's that? With capital and money and control of oil and resources. That's the bottom line. Israel doesn't have the oil, but it's been dividing the Arab world for the past 77 years. They can't benefit from all the money that they get from their oil. And the moment someone says, I want it for my own people, for transport, for health, for community, for hospitals, for schools, then we step in, because we can't have an independent bunch of people taking it on themselves. But let's just see if the facts add up, because the BBC has continuously, as a reflection of all I've just said, continuously demeaned Palestinian lives. And how have they done that? Well, there was a very recent report by the Centre for Media Monitoring, and that is from June, mid-June it was, this year. And they analysed 35,000 pieces of BBC content, and it showed that Israeli deaths were given 33 times more coverage. Israeli deaths given 33 times more coverage. So the students that I taught in the university, all those students, many have been killed. Rola was killed, lovely woman girl that was sat at the front, used to joke with two other friends, killed with her 3 kids. She's had kids since then. That's my student that's killed. So 33 times less valuable she is than them. Sobhay, the young kid of the farmer, we used to go out with the farmers into the buffer zone where they used to shoot at the farmers, Israel did, with their snipers. His son, the only son, Sobhay, used to drive the combine and drive the tractor when he was only 12. Such a sweet kid. He was about 20. He's dead now. He was killed. Their whole family's destroyed. And these are just 2 stories that I know. Yahya, I worked with him on many campaigns. Lovely guy, killed with his wife and 2 kids. Another one, lovely, sweet guy. And this is what I mean when they say 33 times less valuable. Those 3, let alone all the rest. This is what they're doing. This is what the statistic is. This is by design. This is by design. And you might even ask from the horse's mouth, because 100 BBC broadcasters, 100, they had to remain anonymous, 111 actually, recently, just the 2nd of July, made a statement saying that there is anti-Palestinian racism running right through the BBC, and it is by design. It is by design, and everybody's walking up and down those corridors knowing what is going on. And of course it extends to the Sky, it extends to all of the other media around. But the BBC is public-owned broadcaster, and yet look at what they do. They're accountable to us and the licence payers, and yet look at what they do. That's 100 broadcasters that have complained about the systematic bias towards Israel. 33 times more valuable. And a few other findings here. This is despite, of course, Gaza suffering 34 times more casualties, okay? It's a genocide. And they almost equal numbers of humanising victims profiles, 279 Palestinians to 201 Israelis. Imagine all those hundreds of thousands, probably, Palestinians murdered. We get about 200 stories about their lives and their history and their homes. Yeah, I mean, get a load of this one. There has just been one reference to murder of a Palestinian, 220 for Israelis. Just one reference to murder. Israelis can't murder. And they've just been shooting kids with snipers, and all these medics that come over from Britain and America that are in the hospitals and saying how many kids have got snipers in the back of their heads. Sniper bullets in the back of their heads. This is what I'm talking about. This is for real. And of course the bombings, we know they're just bombing families. It's been happening again and again. Thousands of families wiped off the civilian registry. In 2014, when my other student was killed, Huda, and she was killed with her 2 little babies and her husband and mother-in-law, all with one bomb. She was funny, she was quirky. Well, when she died, it was 90 families wiped off the civilian citizen registry. 2014, 2,200 killed. In 51 days, over 500 children. Where was the outcry then, BBC? Where was the media? They were trying to present it as 50-50 with about 70 killed on the other side. These are crimes against humanity, and we must stand for them. Because when you see kids out here like this, and you just thank your lucky stars, all of us, that we're not under those bombs, but I would say to them, thank your lucky stars that you're not a Palestinian journalist. 200 Palestinian journalists at least murdered, 200, and yet you stay quiet, you hide the truth, you don't even give them, those people, those professionals that are also the same whole trade that you operate in, and you're not even giving them a little bit of truth when they're running around getting bombed. And you know you're not being allowed in because of Israel hiding the crimes that they are committing, and yet you still don't share the truth about what Palestinians are having to do with their press suits running around straight into the most awful areas unknown to humankind. I'm in touch with so many in Gaza, I'm talking to them all the time. They're sending me pictures of the tent, they're sending me videos, they're telling me exactly what's happening now. So many have been shot and injured, one's just been paralysed now for going to get the food, 877 people now killed collecting food aid. Are you serious? After all this horror, 90% of the buildings destroyed, over 80% of the hospitals attacked, and now 877 people queuing for food aid, and BBC can't even make that the central story. Shame on them.
Shame.
So listen, it is up to us. You know how they pressure the media. We can pressure the media. It's up to us as individuals. They have the box, they have the algorithms, they have the technology, but we have the overwhelming numbers now. And the truth is starting to seep in now because of social media, and most importantly because of the Palestinians that are running around with their cameras filming everything. Most importantly, do it for them. They have been sharing the truth, and they've been sharing the truth and getting killed for it. Or if not injured for it. How many thousands of amputations are we seeing now? They don't grow back. I was looking at what kids are asking their mothers, and they're saying, do the legs grow back, mother? Do the legs grow back? Do the arms grow back? That's what the kids are asking their parents, whether it's a journalist or their little brother or sister or anybody else. So please, everybody has to keep that pressure right on. And I mean flipping sending them stuff. I mean sharing all of the right stuff. I mean contacting them directly. I mean arguing with some of the liars, because they're starting to lose. Even the right wing is starting to turn on Israel now. So it's really a chance. We can't miss this opportunity. It is up to us. You've got to get on that computer and get on with it. You've got to get onto the BBC and all the media and get onto them. You've got to take action and do something to make sure that the lies do not keep going, because Palestine depends on it. Thank you.